Provides seminars for new immigrants and for volunteers in Israel. And every year, the center holds special events during the Jewish holidays. But this year, amid the corona pandemic, plans are definitely being adapted. Joining us now from Kibbutz Bet Zera via Skype is the director of the initiative, Chaim Malespin. Hello and Hag Sameach.
Chag Sameach. Yeah, male spin is the way I pronounce it. But you know, I'm a pioneer. We are pioneers. And I think the word pioneer is a bit lost to the world right now. But Zionism in its true form is, you know, helping with Aliyah, helping like the prophets foretold, Jeremiah 32:41, that, you know, God will plant the Jewish people back here with all his heart and all his soul, just like these pioneers right here. We have these kind of pictures all over the property just to inspire people like they used to be here 100 years ago, 100 years ago. And then the earthquake happened and their mud huts were destroyed by the Jordan River. We're not far from the Sea of Galilee here in the north part of Israel, where there's not that many young people or people that are ready to be world changers and to connect with the nations and really to revive the spirit of a pioneer. And so that's really done here.
So you yourself are a young pioneer. You're saying not a lot of young people, but here you are, you know, straight out of Canada. So it's nice that you're here you have so much energy. Like what is, you know, what is it? Is it in the drinking water? You got this passion.
It's the fresh water of the Sea of Galilee. No, I just think it's just this understanding that we're here not just to survive. We're here to thrive. And Israel is the greatest country ever because it's a example that the driving force of, well, God's blessing, but the driving force of determination of the human spirit really will accomplish a lot. And even when I see these volunteers, I'll tell you, this is a volunteer house that we renovated behind me. And I see these volunteers come from all over the world, and their desire is to do one thing: to help plant these trees, to help these immigrants get established, to renovate buildings, to do the feast days, to do the Chagei Israel, like Sukkot. And we had about 3,000 people wanting to come, registered to come for a big music event here with wonderful singers from all over the world and from Israel.
You know, the organizing trips, but also tied in with the volunteerism. Why is that such an important, you know, the volunteerism to dovetail the journey of coming to Israel?
Yeah. Well, because, you know, when I first made my Aliyah, what is it, over 20 years ago, almost 23 years ago, I realized it's not the romantic Indiana Jones riding into the sunset and everything's fine. No, onto an adventure. It's quite hot. It's quite hard to live here. And where you got to have a dream, you know, like Ben Gurion. It's like you got to have a dream. And you got to have that within you, like a burning passion, or else Israel will not be, it won't be the best. You'll say, you know, because what happens is, I'll tell you, identity needs to be the core of who the Jewish people are, and even the Judeo-Christian people who understand the values of Israel, well, and of the Bible. So really, I think there needs to be an identity, not just, hey, do you like iPhone 11? Do you like iPhone 12? What's good for you? Is Israel good for you? Maybe you should live somewhere else for a while. No, it's your identity that this is the homeland. This is the place where Israel began. And this is the place where Israel will go to. That's what Aliyah is. So they need to learn a trade. So here's the agricultural school that we renovated. And so there's young people who are even now learning a trade to be able to survive here.
Chaim, tell us about your plans for Sukkot. I know you have a very creative way of building a sukkah using flags, correct?
Well, flags are the main decoration, but we're asking different nations, especially the 53 nations who have helped to sponsor some of the renovations, like these Aliyah buildings. Around 70 immigrants can fit in these Aliyah buildings. So we said, why don't the nations come and build an Australian sukkah, a Korean sukkah, American, England sukkah, and decorate it in the way they want. Put koala bear or whatever on it. Put your flag on it. And we were planning to have about 100 of those down in the valley at the Jordan River, and then inviting the immigrants, inviting the agricultural school and the volunteers and everybody, the lone soldiers, to come and have a epic celebration of biblical proportions. Because of, you know, the restrictions of flights and everything, we're doing an online event, but believing that next year those 3,000 people will come, and it will still happen. It'll happen annually, every year here, and it will be a phenomenal celebration with music of biblical proportions.
Yeah, literally, from your lips to God's ears. Chaim, thanks again for joining us, and have an easy fast, and we'll see you soon.